Hi, my name is Ashley. I'm 25 years old and I started using social media when I was 9 years old.
Hi, I'm Isa. I'm 26 and I started using social media at the age of 9.
Back then, social media was all about just little things like pictures that we could relate to, random posts. And if I were to see my name there, I felt like, wow, I'm part of like a gang or something. So that was like the cool thing back then on social media.
We were all in the computer lab and somebody started talking about this thing called Facebook. So, being kids, we all started rushing into creating accounts. It became the thing, became the in thing. Every day there was something related to Facebook. We stopped talking about anything else. There was nothing. We stopped talking about TV. We stopped talking about sports. Everything was what were we doing on Facebook that day. We'd rather meet on this virtual platform than in person.
I was still a child, basically. I was only like 10 or 11 years old, so I was a catfish, as you would call it. I guess I was smart enough to portray myself as someone that I was not, even as someone who was a male, actually, a very much older male who was like in his 20s. And I think it was mainly because I was a child and not everybody wants to talk to a child.
You end up crafting a persona. You cannot be your true self because you don't want to be seen as too normal, too boring. If I couldn't wear a certain thing that day, I wouldn't want to leave the house. In a way, it's just like any other addict. If they don't get their drug, they fall into withdrawal. It was a lesson that I learned in the hardest way, to be more confident in my own skin.
In a week, I get about 5 cases of children dealing with online issues, children having addicted to online activities, gaming, and so on. Hello, I'm Dr. James Nayagam, a child's rights advocate, and I serve with Durjana Welfare Society. I've been in this work for the past 45 years. There has been a gradual shift of what used to be a physical problem to something that is invisible. Previously, it was to do with pain, bullying, physical, manageable. But now, we're dealing with something that is invisible, painless, but destroys children, destroys families. I've accompanied children to a police station because it's online, it's borderless. Where can you go for someone who needs support? And they all are victimized. And that is being used by the pedophile or by the persons to blackmailing them. That's the situation, unknown to the family, because these things take place behind closed doors.
I think that is the number one reason that people use social media, to seek validation. Maybe they feel that they're not getting enough in their actual lives.
Yeah, I guess I was self-conscious and insecure to a certain extent, that even if I did post a picture, it probably had like a meme face over it or something.
I would say that the time that I started was okay, but I wish I had been older. I was lucky in my life. I had a father whose email account I used to make Facebook. I had family members and parents who knew what I was doing, so-called behind the scenes lah.
Looking back at it now, I feel that if that ban had existed at that time, it would have definitely made a big difference, because my parents would actually know what it is that I'm looking at and the things that I'm doing or saying.
We will lose our children we will lose our youth. And I'm thankful that today we were taking the first step, at least to realization of the impact on children, the psychological damage to the children. Let me tell you this, we are only at the beginning of things to come.
As somebody who lived through it and who had that support system in my life, I believe that everybody deserves it because it is something important to their safety, their relationships, their future and society as a whole. So we at Suryana, we will provide this platform.